Why increase security again?
I have no idea. It makes no real sense. I truly believe that as these new things pop up on a day-to-day basis, it's just about changing the conversation. The problem is that Brendan is correct. It's not clear what the Justice Department has, but Donald Trump ran on the idea that he would release these Epstein files. And so his supporters, his followers that he needs to hold the House majority next November, they want files. And so unless Donald Trump releases those, all these things that come up in terms of moving her to this country club prison, in terms of everything else, that's not going to satiate that crowd. And that's a real problem. The other issue is that obviously Donald Trump is mentioned multiple times in whatever documents exist at the DOJ. And so he's trying to run from having to answer why that is, but I don't think he can escape that.
Issues for Donald Trump in November certainly was the economy. Now he's underwater in polls with all this tariff turmoil. It doesn't seem Democrats are capitalizing on the issue. How do you see it?
Donald Trump is in trouble. To your point, he was elected in part because of the economy. And so looking at what we have, we've got 7 million unemployed people. You've got 17 million people about to lose health care. You've got 5 million people about to lose food assistance. And so what all of that means for the average American is that prices are up everywhere and there's no relief in sight. That's Donald Trump's economy. He's launched a trade war, which is a raise on taxes for all of us that we didn't need to have. And so as we look at what Donald Trump has done in the first 6 months of his presidency, the answer is nothing except for rich people with this tax bill that he passed that, among other things, lets corporations and billionaires write off depreciation in the first year when they buy a private jet. I guess that's a good thing for his base, but for the rest of us, it does nothing to improve our lives.
Michael, what message do you think the White House is trying to send with this probe, and how do Democrats counter it?
This is banana republic stuff. You have a president who's using the power of the government to weaponize that against his enemies in every way, in terms of the education system, in terms of government, in terms of the private sector. That can't stand. And so as we look at why he's doing all these things in terms of trying to rig the congressional seats in Texas and beyond to hold on to the majority in the House, that's what this is about. Because if Democrats take over the House in the midterm, there will be hearings and there will be oversight and investigations, and he can't have that. And so all of this reckless and often illegal behavior he's engaging in this year, there will be hearings for those things if Democrats take back the House. And so that's why he's desperately doing whatever he can to keep that from happening. If you're a Democrat right now, what you should simply be doing is monitoring and strategizing in terms of how you can convince the American people that you should take over the House and the Senate and you have a better plan for their lives, and also planning how you're going to hold Donald Trump accountable for the litany of illegal crimes he's committed this year.
Loomer is a controversial figure. She has faced a barrage of criticism both inside and outside of the Republican Party. How does her influence on the administration make the White House look to outsiders?
Well, it looks crazy. I mean, she appears to be a head case in some capacity, and she has undue influence over the president of the United States, which is interesting because in many of these situations, there's no adult in the room and there's no subject matter expert in the room. And so you have Donald Trump making decisions that he doesn't understand based on advice from inside or outside people who also don't understand. This is complete insanity, not the way that the United States has ever been run under either party. And it's really like banana republic level corruption, and it's shameful. And I truly hope that at some point, reasonable Republicans, moderate Republicans can step forward and say, this is insanity. Let's come back to a place where we have a government that operates effectively for people, notwithstanding political ideology.